Hey guys, Miranda Manticos here, psychic channeler, spiritual teacher. Okay, so I'm already having a card fall out of the deck. I'm doing the Divine Masculine Healing. I haven't done it in about a week because it's just been super busy. And one is already falling out of the deck. But I just want to say something first that Spirit just said to me. Okay, so this came up in a session that I just did, literally, but it's relevant for everyone. And this is about healing the divine feminine, okay? And the rise of the feminine. And what happens when the feminine gives herself a voice, right? When she speaks up and when she speaks her truth and trusts her feelings and her intuition. And by the way, again, this message could be for men and women and those exploring gender. This is not about, this is about your feminine energy, literally speaking up for the masculine is what I'm hearing, and speaking up for the masculine energy and helping it. And so literally, as I'm starting this video, my guides said, everyone stands to benefit from the rise of the feminine, because the rise of the feminine, okay, is the mothers, the sisters, the daughters, okay? The feminine energy is a nurturing energy. So she does not toss aside the masculine. She does not, disregard the feelings of the men. See, the feminine is not intimidated by men. Never has been. Why? Because we're the mothers, okay? Like, we carry through our womb both. So we understand having both energies. We understand being both, having this within us, okay? So, that's kind of also the story of sacred union and bringing those energies together to form the divine child, right? But that being said, what my guide was saying literally as I was about to start this was all stand to benefit. Every person on the planet, every being on the planet, nature beings, animals, the water, the land, the elements, all life stands to benefit from the rise of the feminine. So this is so important. So if you are feeling called to speak your truth in some kind of way, I am asking you to please do it, okay? The quicker you do this, the more you will see all of the magic unfold in your life, okay? You're gonna have like people who don't understand, okay? That's been the story of the feminine from the beginning, is leading from your passion, right? Your passion is your purpose. And doing so, whether people accept you or not. So you're not doing this because of other people. You're doing this because you deserve to live your truth. And this goes for all people, okay? So in the session that I just did, one of the really relevant things was this person is just ready to live and work in their joy, okay? And this is really relevant to the masculine. So this is a good segue into the masculine because the masculine energy has had to survive for so long. That's your survivor, right? Your protector, your inner protector. But the feminine can do that too. See, that's why it's time for the masculine to rest a little bit and let the feminine lead this, because she is a great protector as well. She protects in a different way, through our intuition, through our feelings, through this inner knowing that something maybe isn't right or doesn't feel right, even if we don't have like a logical reason to explain it. See, that inner knowing is the feminine energy. So it's safe for the masculine to just take a seat and heal right now. So I want to read the one that fell out of the deck. And so I'm learning with you guys on this deck. This is a new one. Oh my gosh, I see another one right now. All right, guys. Hold on. Okay. This is beautiful. Okay. All right. So hold on. Bear with me. Let me just look it up because this is a new one for me. Okay. So let me show you his face. Look how beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful man. Okay. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Obatala. The message of Obatala is extend kindness and understanding to yourself and others. The path of humanity is not an easy undertaking. See through the pain and apply the salve of love. That's beautiful. Within the Yoruba pantheon of West Africa, Obatala is a primordial Orisha, spirits referred to as deities or avatars of the supreme being. Oh my goodness, I hope I can say it right. Olodumare. Okay, guys, I'm doing the best I can. Obatala, which means king who wears white cloth, is the god of purity. He is also called Alabalas, meaning he who is divine, has divine authority. According to some Pataki, Yoruban mythological stories, he created humans using Olodumare's breath. Obatala is referenced as Sky Father. We were just talking about this today. And the father of all Orishas and humankind. Husband to Yimoya, the river goddess. Obatala is admired for his kindness, compassion, and peace. His sacred color is white, and his symbol is the dove, which is associated with peace, jasmine flowers, and his white crown. That's beautiful. Actually, in the session we did today, a river came through. So, wow. Okay, so the message. Kindness requires immense strength, wisdom, intelligence, and skill. The strength to respond instead of react. The wisdom to have emotional maturity. The intelligence to know why people are the way that they are, and the skill to combine these forces. This is so true, you guys. This is beautiful. Kindness is a decision to intentionally put these elements into practice in the face of adversity. A cornerstone of this process is understanding. To comprehend the challenges that other humans encounter, delve into the biological and psychological factors propelling them, and explore the historical roots behind it all. Use understanding as a means of self-love rather than it being a detriment. Being sympathetic to the pain and confusion the human condition causes sometimes can help you see that bad behavior directed at you does not reflect your worthiness or lovability. I literally just shared this on my page on Instagram. This little boy, he's amazing. He's so gifted. He's just an enlightened, spiritually gifted little boy. And he just shared a message, which is exactly this, that someone's acceptance of you or their rejection of you does not determine your worthiness and your value. Okay, so literally I just shared this. And that's what this is saying. It is not a deficiency in you when someone doesn't receive your message, okay? It's still no excuse for the behavior, and understanding is not a tool to condone it or to stick around for more mistreatment. It just means that, you know, I'll just use an example. In the session that I just did, I literally said, you know, sometimes someone may react negatively to your message. Like I'll just use myself as an example. I may make a post about something that someone does not understand, right? Or I'm showing something in the sky that they don't understand. And most of the time the comments are supportive, right? But once in a while you'll have someone criticize or make a negative remark, okay? But anytime that happens, when I ask my guides what to do about like how do I respond to that person, it's always to respond in love. It doesn't mean that I don't have a voice or I don't have an opinion or any of that. No. And it absolutely takes more strength to be kind than it does to just react, right? So this really resonates, especially as we are coming into this ascension energy, this awakening and remembering of who we really are. We're going to be feeling and experiencing things as men and women, as masculine and feminine, that we've never felt before. We are just in unknown territory right now, okay? And as we go into this, you're bound to have said something or post something or experience something that someone else may not understand. And their reaction to you, if it's coming from fear, may not be a positive reaction. But you don't have any power over those people, okay? Where your power is at is within you, okay? To be the love that you were born to be, okay? To be the light, to be the love. It does not make it okay, just as this says, for someone to mistreat you. It is not okay. But can you look at them with love and understand their story? Can you look at humanity with love and understand that all of humanity was lied to? From every system, religious, political, even the medical system, okay? That these big conglomerates of systems were not designed to aid humanity to an age of enlightenment. No, they were here to suppress the enlightenment. And that is why people in all these systems are waking up and they're like, I don't like this. I don't like that, how this is operating. I don't like it. Okay. So when you start realizing that, then you can see why there are so many people on the planet who are completely innocently ignorant of the real story here. And you feel compassion. You know, it's like when Jesus, when he said, you know, he looked at the crowd, and the Bible says he felt compassion, and he was sad for them. And he said, they are like sheep without a shepherd. They have no guidance. And it's not because we weren't given this. Remember, we were. But if they never told you, if you were born like psychic and you were like me, okay, and I was born having visions and dreams and I could see spirit and all those things, but my parents didn't know anything about that because they were in a religion that was cut off to that. Well, there you go. There's a system that was designed to perpetuate ignorance, okay? And so not of any fault of their own, they were just teaching what they were taught, but what they were taught was wrong. Well, that exists in every aspect of society. So when you come to that understanding of where everyone is coming from, you can have compassion for it, you can have patience, and you can be kind. Okay? And I love this message of Obatala. This is so relevant to right now, so relevant. It says, I'm just going to give you a little bit more about this. So it does not mean that you have to endure unpleasant situations for the sake of being nice. No, okay? It says, on the contrary, genuine compassion and understanding grant you clarity instead of blind ignorance. It involves recognizing with compassion and wisdom when someone may lack the capacity to make better choices. Open-minded benevolence allows you to love from afar, especially when you match kindness to others with equal amounts to yourself. Practicing within helps you extend outward. This is so true. To transform your self-treatment, okay? Take note of times you speak to yourself with negative self-talk, okay? Well, this is relevant as well. Ask yourself, if that was my best friend, how would I have spoken to them in the same situation? How would you want a friend to speak to you at that moment? Then put that positive self-talk into practice with yourself. Nice doesn't always feel kind. Kindness requires honesty, whereas nice can be a fake mask, worn to gain approval from another. It can be uncomfortable to be kind. Hearing the truth face to face rather than being nice just to be liked can strengthen bonds. That's true. Okay, sometimes I said this in a recent post a couple weeks ago, but authenticity makes people uncomfortable. But authenticity is truth. And as it is saying here, authenticity is kindness. Okay? So that's relevant. That's relevant to everything we're seeing right now. A caveat with honesty is to ensure that it is matched with the right timing and gentleness. Delivered with tact and understanding makes honesty kind. Delivered with judgment and brutality does not. That's true. Consider the timing of your words. Unsolicited advice can be perceived as criticism in the wrong circumstance. Honesty delivered with compassionate wisdom is key to keeping your bonds based in truth and closeness, yet with a feeling of safety and mutual respect. This goes back to something I quoted in a video I made a couple of weeks ago, but this girl on TikTok that I was watching a channel that she has, I guess, I'm not really sure what her occupation is or what she does on her channel, or if she just has her channel for speaking her mind. Either way, I liked it. And she said that the strength of the masculine is in his gentleness. And the strength of the feminine is in her power. Isn't that interesting? So a strong masculine, whether that's the masculine energy or a man or boy even in this world, is when they know how to be gentle. Okay? And I love this. What a beautiful teacher. Let me show his picture again. And of course, you can do your own research on him and the stories behind his name and what he represents for the people, and just how he resonates with you. But I love this message of authenticity and gentleness. Okay, so I did pull 2 more. I'm not going to read the entire thing because one of them I already know it, and the other one I just want to get the message. Hold on. Bear with me, guys. We care about you, masculine. We want to heal you. We love you. We will not leave the masculine behind in this rising of the feminine. We will assist. Okay. Buddha. Beautiful Buddha. Do y'all see my Buddha behind me? Can you see him back there? Behind my paintings that I need to hang? Beautiful. Look at that gentleness. The strength of the masculine is in his gentleness. Who better to represent that than Buddha? Okay, so just a brief for the sake of time. Accepting what has been does not condone the happenings of the past, but allows us to move on. Release rigid mindsets and move forward into a future set on your terms. And just a brief comment in the message. If a friend experienced a heart-wrenching tragedy, you probably wouldn't tell them, it is what it is, accept it and let go. That would pile on invalidation atop the agony and suffering that's consuming them. It says, offer yourself the same consideration. Acceptance occurs several steps into a healing voyage. It comes at the hand of processing. Premature acceptance can hinder vital processes that need to happen before reaching this stage. It's just so important, okay? I'm going to make a comment about it in just one second. I want to read this one more paragraph to you. Toxic positivity and spiritual bypassing are both displays of premature acceptance. This keeps you disillusioned, opting for denial and repression of emotion rather than truly moving through hardship. So this is very relevant to masculine energy, but I've seen it in the feminine as well. I've seen it in myself. Sometimes out of our need for survival, okay, we set aside our feelings. We do not give ourselves the time to process that we need. And, you know, just using myself as an example, it's not always because we haven't tried. I've mentioned on several other videos that I lost 4 pregnancies trying to have a 3rd child. We have 2 healthy children, and those losses were so unspeakable, the difficulty of them, okay? The grief, you guys, the grief. But who can stop and grieve when you're raising children and you're running a business and you're living life? Sound familiar? If any of you have been through something difficult like that and have not been able to stop to grieve because of life, because of circumstances. See, this is the oppressed masculine. This is the masculine that had to survive no matter what, even when they needed to stop and cry and grieve and feel and sit in the ashes, right? But couldn't. This is what we're talking about. This is so relevant, this message from Buddha. And so, you know, this applies to all people. We have been forced to push for so long. See, everything that you have has to be provided for. Your food, your shelter, your every need. In every way, the system that we're looking to change has been a system of slavery. And this is why you can't stop and grieve sometimes, right? But when you wake up to it and you realize, if I don't do this, if I don't heal myself, if I don't allow myself to feel and get this out of the body, it's going to self-harm. Okay? So if you're going through grief right now, if, like what I went through, or for any situation that you may be grieving, okay? You might have lost a loved one like I did, or you might be going through some other type of tragedy, or job loss even. I've had several friends recently lose their jobs. I mean, these are still all forms of grief. I feel the message from Buddha in this would be self-compassion, and just, you know, like I have it on my wall in there, but it's a quote from Buddha, and it says, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. Okay. I mean, that's who could say it any better than the way he said it? So allow yourself to feel masculine. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to heal. Speak about what you're going through. It doesn't have to be on social media the way I'm doing. You could just talk to a trusted friend. If you don't have a friend close enough that you feel you can talk to, go into nature. You know who understands your grief? Mother Earth. You know who has felt your pain? She has. Go sit with nature. But let yourself feel. Let yourself heal. What you feel, you can heal. And it doesn't mean you have to sit in that heaviness all the time, okay? I like to tell people, because a lot of times when you've been through something so difficult, sometimes you just can't, right? Like sometimes you just can't sit with it for a minute. But as you're able to, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you're able to feel, you will gradually work through it. You will gradually let it go. And you will see improvement in the body as well, okay? I just want to show you this other one that came up. Horus. We've pulled him before. So beautiful. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because we've read it before. You can go back and look at some of my other masculine healing messages. He's in there. So this I love this message. Do it your way. Shirk the narrative other people have created for your life. Retrieve the past for healing. Your story belongs to you, and so do your choices. I love this. This is all about inner child healing, by the way, too, because Horus lost his father at a young age. The story is that his mother, Isis, resurrected his father, and Horus gave his father his eye to allow his father to be able to see in the other realms to protect himself. So it's a very beautiful story. You can look up more about him. And that eye, when you see like the eye, or the Egyptian eye, it's usually representative of the eye of Horus. But, if you wanted to put that in a spiritual context, being willing to see your inner child and the inner shadows and the ways in which your body needs compassion and healing and, to witness things, be willing to witness yourself, okay? As you witness yourself and your own story, you begin to become the most authentic version of yourself. As you give yourself the compassion that Buddha is bringing to you, as you show yourself these things. I'm going to show you their pictures again. Obatala, Sky Father, Buddha, and Horus. See that mother-father energy coming through and the divine child in between, right? As you allow for yourself to be real and be authentic and have your feelings and really become yourself, okay? What's going to naturally happen is a falling away of what is not you. That is why creation also involves destruction, okay? So when you get into the goddess energy and Mother Earth and all the mothers, I just had this conversation in the session today, but when we mother, when I brought forth my children that are in this world, myself, my actual self, the way that I knew me was destroyed. I was no longer the same person. I became the mother, right? And any mother can tell you who has born children into this world that process of carrying a child is grueling and wonderful at the same time. It is destruction and creation at the same time, literally. And this is the masterful way that the goddess works, okay? And so men, in our society with all of its broken systems have not been allowed to feel and rest and heal because they couldn't. They were in survivor mode, okay? And women too, okay? We also were overmasculated because of the patriarchy. So, that's why I always say this is a message for all people, okay? Because we have got to start allowing for the gentleness that we need to heal. This is how we change the situation here in humanity, one person at a time, healing one person at a time. I always say this, I'm going to say it again, this is an inside job. You want to see the world change yourself, okay? I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in many lives of all the sessions and people that I've worked with. You deserve this. Give yourself the compassion you deserve, okay? Don't judge yourself so harshly. Go into nature and let Mother Earth mother you. And let's heal the masculine, guys. Let's heal it. And allow the feminine to lead this process. She is the greatest nurturer and creator and gentle mother. The best we could ask for. So let's do it. I love you guys. Bye.